on this layer. Hold on, let me click on the right layers. All right, let's get started. So test 1, practice for class. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the distance between the points -2, 4, and 3, 8. Find the exact answer and give the approximate to 3 decimal places. So this is exactly what your computer is going to ask you to do this time. And so that's what we're going to do. So we'll give both answers. So here we have 2.4 and this. So remember that the distance is equal to the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. In the notes, it may be the other way around. And in this case, it doesn't matter as long as I keep the first one, the second one, the second one. Okay. So in this case, we're going to call this x1, y1, this one x2, y2. So here when we type this in, I'm going to get the distance is equal to, oops, zoom on in, clear this out. So my distance is equal to x1, which would be -2 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 9 squared, which gives us the square root of -5 squared plus -5 squared, which is the square root of 50. Okay, so that's our exact answer. Oh, I guess I skipped one step. I gave myself extra time so I wouldn't have to. The square root of 50. All right. I think both say test 1. Oh, yeah. So both practice exams say test 1. So this is test 1, practice 1. And the other one should, here, let me open it up real quick and it's a PDF. Let me show you. Whoop. It's not what I wanted. Here it is. So this one is not, that's not what I want. Get out of here. That was my solution to my last one, which isn't the solution to this one. So let's say test 1, practice 1. So this is test 1, practice for in class. And so this is the one we're going to be doing together. So practice 1 is the one we're going to do in class. And the other one says test 2, practice 2, right? And so this one is test 1, practice 2. So these are both practice for test 1. One's for in class, one's for discussions. And so practice 2 really means the one I'm giving you guys to do as a discussion board. Okay, does that make sense? And so we'll do this one together, and then this one you guys will do as a discussion. I'm glad you asked. So don't post answers to this one in the discussion. Post answers to this one in the discussion. I'm going to walk through one with you guys so you can learn from me. Studies have shown if you guys work through it and teach each other, you guys learn the material better, both as a student and as the person who's teaching the other one. So the person who's learning. But at the same time, I know you guys like to kind of walk through these. So I do one as I walk through and the other one do this. And notice these are basically the same thing, just different numbers, different problems. So more or less the same. Like this one's, where is it at? This one's this word problem. This one's this word problem. So, all right, let's get back to it. Can more than one person write in the discussion for the same question? Yes. So there's what, 15 questions? So, yes. So more than one person can write the same answer. So not everyone do 1 and 2. So if someone's done 1 or 2, try to do one that's not completed. The goal is that amongst each of you doing 2, so 40 times 2, so amongst the 80 posted answers, all 15 have been hit. Does that make sense? So there'll probably be like 20 1s, but maybe like only 2 7s or something, right? Okay. So yes, there will be repeats. Or you can say, hey, you know, I liked how this one is done. I did it a little differently, and this is what I got. Okay. And for this one, it'd make a lot of sense to do like picture posts, like this is how I work through it. Another one can send a picture post. This is how I work through it. Okay. All right, so here we are. And then we're going to need to round it to 3 decimal places on my calculator you want, but I am going to be using this just because it's what I know. I was taught Mathematica, and this is the same thing. So here's my exact results. So you could either put in square root of 50 or 5 square root 2. That's fine too. It wants it to 3 decimal places, so it'd be 7.01071. So let me just write that in. Thank you. Which is approximately 7.071. And so that's how you'll fill out the first one. There we go. All right, yep, just making sure I got it right. All right. So that's the first problem. Let's go to the second one. Hello, there we go. All right, so find the distance between these 2 points and then find the midpoint. All right, so once again, we're going to do the distance. I remember here that this distance formula just becomes here if I'm at 2 different points, right? Here's x1, y1. And I do want to kind of go slowly through this so I can kind of explain why stuff works, so it's a little bit easier to understand. I want to find this distance right here. Basically, I'm going to find this length right here, which is x1 minus x2. I'm going to find this length right here, which is y1 minus y2. And then here I have a right triangle, right? And so it's this distance squared plus this distance squared equals this distance squared. So if I take the square root of this plus this, I have my distance formula. Okay. So here, if I want to find the distance between these 2 points, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to do the square root. I'm going to call this one 1. So it'll be minus 6. Oops, not a comma. Minus 4. And then plus squared. Sorry, forgot my squared. 2 minus 5. So 2 minus 5 squared. And so this becomes square root of minus 10 squared plus minus 3 squared, which equals the square root of 100 plus 9, which equals the square root of 109. Once again, you can type it in calculating at that. So let's find the midpoint. Do you guys remember how to find the midpoint? So go ahead and try to tell me what the midpoint is. What's the midpoint? Midpoint is going to be equal to something and something. In fact, here I'll give you. So the midpoint, remember, just add up x1 plus x2 and divide by 2, and divide up y1 plus y2 and we divide by 2. And so if we did that, here we're going to do negative 6 plus 4. I add that up, I get minus 2. Minus 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. And notice here that if I walk 5 units to the right this way and 5 units to the left this way, we both hit at negative 1, so that checks out. Here I have 2 and 5, and so that becomes 7, right? 7 divided by 2 is just 7 halves, which is roughly 3.5, which makes sense. Okay. And so here's how we find the midpoint. All right, so let's go to our next one here. So find the domain of the given function and write it in interval notation. So here we want to find the domain of this function. So what's the problem here? The problem here is that this better not equal to 0, right? I can't divide by 0. So I need x squared minus x minus 12 not equal to 0. In this case, here if I have x squared minus x, I can factor that to x minus 4x plus 3. In fact, let me not even cheat you that much. Let's just figure it out together. So here, I want to figure out how to factor this, right? So to factor this, just as you remember, I want to find multiples of negative 12. So I have negative 1 and 12, or 1 and 12, or 1 and negative 12. I have 2 and 6, or negative 6, and then minus 2, and then positive 6, and I have 3 and 4, make one negative, 3 and 4, make the other one negative. So here are all my options, right? All these multiply together to give me negative 12. Then I'm going to see which one of these add up to give me my middle. And right here it's negative 1. So 3 minus a 4 adds up to the negative 1. So here I'll have x plus 3, x minus 4 is not equal to 0. I mean, x was either x does not equal minus 3. So here, let me do this even slower. I save myself time to do this as slow as possible. That means that x plus 3 does not equal to 0, or x minus 4 does not equal to 0. That means x, if I move this over, does not equal 3, or minus 3, and then x does not equal 4. And so here we have what it can't equal, so we need to write that in interval notation. So we start from negative infinity with the parentheses, we go to negative 3, we go from minus 3 with also with the parentheses, because we don't want brackets, because we want to make sure we do not include the negative 3, go to 4, and then from 4 union to infinity. Okay. And so if I have all real values except negative 3 and 4, and I want to write that in interval notation, I'm going to write it from negative infinity to 3, not including the 3, so we're using the parenthesis, not the brace, union, negative 3, so we still don't want it, and so that throws away negative 3, and we're going to go to 4, so all the numbers up to 4, and then we're going to throw away 4, so we have the parentheses on both sides, and to infinity, and we always have parentheses on the infinity sign and never the brace. Okay, that's how we do this one. All right, doesn't seem any questions. All right, so here we're going to given this, we want to find the following for each. So we're going to find g of 0. So if I plug in 0 here, right, so let's do a, g of 0, well, I'll have 4 plus 0 squared minus 4 times 0 plus 5. Well, that's just 5, right? 0 times 0, right? Here, if I have for g of negative 2, I'm going to just plug in 4 minus 2 squared minus 2 plus 5. So 4 times negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared is, of course, 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 4 times negative 2 gives me positive 8. And then I get plus 5. And so I'll have 16 plus 8 plus 5. So this gives me, what, 21, 29? If I do any of these wrong, please let me know. Okay. How do you know to choose that instead of any other options? Good question. So let's go back to this real quick. Someone asked, well, how do I know to choose this? So I want to find, and so to factor quadratic, I want to find, I take the constant term here and I factor it into all its multiples, right? So negative 1 and 12 gives me 12. 1 and negative 12 gives me negative 12, right? 2 and 6, negative 6 gives me 12. So each of these are all the possible factors. Then I want to figure out which one of these two add up. So 3 plus a minus 4 add up to be minus 1 because I want it to equal this, right? Notice here, if I took 2 and negative 6, I get a positive 4, which doesn't equal my middle term. So that's how you factor, is you add up all the things here and then go ahead and do go ahead and filter into that. It wouldn't be a bad idea to practice factoring a little bit if you're not super strong in quadratic factoring. Another way is just, you just can type in Wolfram Alpha factor, you type this in, it factors it for you, okay? So here, if it's 0, so here 0 becomes 5, which makes sense. If I plug in 0 here, I'm only going to have my constant term. If I plug in negative 2, I get 29. Here at negative x, I'm just going to plug that in, so it'll be 4. It'll be 4 minus x squared minus 4 times an x plus 5 equals what? Well, negative x squared is just 4x squared. Oops, I forgot my negative on this x, didn't I? Negative 4 times negative x is positive x plus 5. And so that's your answer. It's just a polynomial. And then here I'll give myself a little more space. Here this will be equal to 4 times 1 minus y squared minus 4y 1 minus y plus 5. And so remember, when you're plugging in values into a function, here, if g of x is equal to 4x squared minus x plus 5, just think of this as a template. And then here, instead of putting in x, I'm going to put in a 0. Instead of x, I'm going to put in -2. Here, instead of x, I'm going to put in -x. Instead of x, I'm going to put in 1 minus y. So we're saying y, I'm just going to plug in the 1 minus y. All right, once again, please remember when you're doing this to FOIL this. So it'll be 1 minus y, 1 minus y, minus 4, 1 minus y, plus 5. And so here we're going to FOIL. So we first, outside, inside, last. And so here would be 4. This becomes 1 squared, which is just 1. So we can just leave it as a 1. Minus y, so it'll be minus 2y, minus y times minus y would give me plus y squared. Minus 4, if I distribute this in, it would be minus 4 plus 4y, because the -4 goes in. So -4 goes into positive 1, gives me -4. -4 goes into minus y, gives me positive 4y. So just remember to take the negative with it. I'm going to add 5. I'm going to simplify one more time from there. So we'll have 4 minus 8y plus y squared minus 4 plus 4y plus 5. And now the last thing we'll do, so let's finish this real quick. So I have 4 minus a 4, so these two just flat cancel each other, right? I have minus 8y plus 4y. Actually, let's just do this in order of power. So how many y squares do I have? Just the 1 y squared here. How many y's do I have? I have minus 8y, and then I have plus 4y, so 4y minus 8y is minus 4y. And then here, for my constant terms, I have a 4 and a minus 4. Those flat cancel, and I have just the plus 5. Okay, so I'll leave this up for you to copy real quick, and I'll see if there's more questions. Why did the 4 disappear? It's not supposed to disappear. Thank you. Thank you. That's because I didn't copy it. All right, let me see. Let's go back. All right. Do you want the values to get? Do you want the values? Hold on. Do you want values to multiple to get values on? Yeah. So what you want here? You want the values of the multiples to add up to the value of the middle. So here, if I have a squared plus b, ax squared plus bx plus c, I'm going to take the factors of c that add up to be b. Okay? And that's what we did here. We took the factors of -12 to add up to be -1. All right. Why did the 4? All right, and why did the 4 disappear? That, sorry, you probably already explained this, but will you be posting the videos? Yes. I'll post the videos, right? I'll post these videos. I'll post the videos for this tomorrow. Wait, nope, you're right. I forgot the 4 again. Thank you. I'm trying to read chat and do math at the same time, and it hasn't gone well for me. Thank you. I forgot the 4 twice. So once again, triple check your answers. Let me just double check mine. In fact, let me do something with you. Let me show you how to double check it. Let me show you how to double check it. Because, we got time. All right, so let me show you how to double check it. So here, let's pretend I wanted to check this in the computer. So I'm just going to type in 4, 1 minus y squared, plus, no, what is it? Is it minus? Yeah, minus 4, 1 minus y plus 5. You just type it in. Thank you. Here you go. And so here, you're just under alternate forms. You should see what we got here. So we have 4y squared minus 4y plus 5. And so that's a good way we can say we did it correctly. Okay. So it's always good to check. And so I'm not horribly sad I make tiny little typos. I mean, I am sad. I should be doing better. But it forces me to teach you how to check your answer. So given this, you can just check your answer. In fact, once you have this in here, I'm not going to lie, you could easily just type in -2, -2, and you get 29. So it's a quick way to check all your answers. Okay? So please check your answers if you only get one submission. All right? You're allowed a calculator. We didn't tell you what type of calculator it is, and we have no way of monitoring it. So I can say this as correctly as possible. I feel kind of bad because you guys have full options just to use all your resources and not really understand any of the math and still pass this class, which I feel bad about. But that's what we're doing. And it is what it is. And so you go with the flow, right? All right. So that's for the first one. Let's do the second one. We'll let you guys go for the day. All right. All right, so find the equation of a straight line passing through the point 0, 3 that is both parallel and perpendicular to the straight line of this. Okay, so here we want to find something that's parallel and some perpendicular. We did a bunch of these, and we did practice of these. You did it on the homework, and we're gonna do 2 more sets now, and then you do it on the exam. So you should be like masters at this point, hopefully, right? If not, just keep practicing. There's more problems in the book. And if you have problems with these, just ask me during office hours, which Monday I have office hours at 11:30 today? Yeah, so 11:30. So, all right, so the first thing you want to do in this case is find out what is the slope of this line. So here we're going to move everything over. So I'll have 4y equals -3x minus 10. So here I moved 3 over and this over. I'm going to divide out by -4. -4, -4. So each term I'm going to divide by -4. So I get y equals to 3/4 x minus 10/4. Do we care what this is? No. We just want to know that the slope here, the slope of my given line, so m, or the slope of the given line, so I'm going to just put a little g here, is 4/3, or 3/4, right? So that's what my m is. For the parallel version, for the parallel line, I'm going to use that m. So m also for this line is going to equal, all right, 3/4. For the perpendicular version, I'm going to take its opposite reciprocal. So this will be minus 4/3. So here for the perpendicular one, you're going to flip it and take a negation. They're both going to go through the same point. So we're going to have y minus, well, y here is -4. So -4 becomes +4 equals 3/4 times x plus x minus 3. So this is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, just to remember the formula. And the same thing over here. So here be y minus y1, which is minus a 4, so it'll be +4, equals -4/3 x minus 3. And so the last thing we need to do is get this in slope-intercept form. So I have y +4 equals 3/4 x minus 9/4. So 3/4 times, so 3/4 times 3 is equal to 9/4. Because this 3 is the same as 3/1. So 9/4. And then we're going to just -4 from both sides. And I get y equal to 3/4 x. So -4. So remember, -4 is equal to -16/4, right? If I converted this into fours. So minus 16/4, and then negative 16. So minus 16/4 minus 9/4 gives me minus 9. That's 16 should give me 25. So 25/4. And so there's our answer here. Okay. In the last one, 4 or negative 4, 0 pointing at. And are you talking about problem 4, Raven? Sorry. I'm just looking at the chat. 1 second. Problem 5. Oh, yeah. So here, this one's 4. Oh, because so here I have. Let me do a little slower. Y minus y1 is equal to. Oh, I think you mean up here. So here we have negative 4. So I move all this over. There's lots of 4s. That's the problem. So let me just review this real quick. So here we're going to take this and put it in slope-intercept form. So I move the x over and the 10 over. So it's negative 3x minus 10, right? Since these went to the other side. I'm going to divide 4 by both sides. So negative 4 on this side, negative 4 on this side, which means just do each term by negative. Oh, I think you know this is what you're talking about. I forgot my negative here. Thank you. I did. Thank you. So there's a negative 4 here. It should be 4 everywhere. And then here, and so since this is a negative 4, this becomes positive. However, this doesn't matter since we throw it away. But thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. You're following along very closely. All right. So we have this, and now we have this. So let's go ahead and do this again. Same song, same dance. We're going to solve it. So here we still have that this, so we take the opposite reciprocal for the parallel. All right, so this is the parallel line. This is the perpendicular line. And then we have y equals, oops, y plus 4 equals minus 4/3 x. And then this 4/3, negative 4/3 times a negative third becomes just plus 4, right? So here it'd be minus 4/3 multiplied by negative. I forgot the negatives here too. I forget that when I do math in my head, I don't always carry the negatives on the answer, but in the term. So let me be very clear on this so I don't lose anyone. Times 1, notice that these cancel and I get negative 3 times negative 1. And negative 4 times negative 1 equals positive 4. Then when we move the 4 over, it'll be y equals. So minus 4 to both sides just equals to minus 4/3 x plus 0. And I don't think, and I think in the computer program, if it's plus 0, just leave it off. So we have this. Okay. So how would I check this in, how would I check this? Well, so let me show you how to check these. So let's say we're given this line. So here we have 3x minus 4y plus 10 equals to 0. And I just want to say solve for y. Not solve for 4. It's like my brain doesn't work this morning. Solve for y. Ta-da! And here we get what we got, right? We got 3/4 x, 3/4 x plus 5, 5/2 or 10/4, same thing, right? Here we get our slope. So here we can just use this to check our slope. So our slope is correct, all right? Then we can type in our problem, which is y minus y1, and this will be minus 4. It's equal to m, which is 3 divided by 4 times x minus 3. So and here we go. Here we have this answer here. And then if we did the opposite, the perpendicular, it'd be minus 4 divided by 3. And here we get this answer here, as we have here. So that's a good way to check. I will say I've never heard of Wolfram Alpha before this class. It's helped me so much. Thanks. Yeah, so Wolfram Alpha is used to have to pay like, oh, dude, I paid what, 100 plus for a student edition of what this thing does for free. Yeah, it's a really powerful computer algebra system. It'll just solve it all for you. Okay. What time is it? This class goes to, technically on Monday, Tuesday, this class goes to 10:15. So yeah, I think we have time. I say let's go ahead and let's do 6, and then we'll start at 7 next time, and we'll do both of those. So let me do 6 with you. So 6 is just solve. Hold on, let me move this up. Oh, you're in the way. You're all over my answers. So this was y equals to 3/4 x minus 25 fourths. Okay. All right, so here we're just going to be solving a kind of complicated function. And so here we go. And so the first thing we want to do to both sides is simplify it. Simplify as much as possible. So here I'm going to do 2. I'm going to pull in this minus 3, so it'll be minus 3x. Pull in the minus 3 will be minus 6 equals 5x. Pull in the minus 3, I'm going to get minus 15 minus 4. We'll simplify it from here. So 2 plus 2 and the negative 6 become minus 4. Minus 3x equals 5x minus 15 minus 4 would be minus 19. And then from here, we'll go ahead and move stuff over. I'm going to move the 3 this way, just because it keeps my number positive. And I'll move the 19 the other way. So here I'm moving the 3x over this way, so this cancels out to be 0. Negative 4 plus 19 is just positive 15. This becomes 8x. And then this just cancels. And so I have x equals 15. And we divide by 8. Now, how do we check this? Same thing as we did before. We'll open up Wolfram Alpha. And we just type it in. Minus 2. So what I'm asking you to do, you guys are going to do what you're going to do, but what I'm asking you to do is do it by hand first, see what answer you get. Type it in the computer, see what answer you get, and then check to see which one's correct. And the reason I want you to do it both ways when you do the actual exam is because you might, when you do it by hand, you might do something wrong, or when you type it in the computer, you might type in something wrong. And so if you do it both ways, you're forcing yourself to check to make sure you get the right answer. And one, it helps you to learn, and 2, make sure you get the right answer when you plug it in, and it's just a way just to guarantee you pass. And it also really helps your understanding. So that's what I'm asking you to do for the 15 problems on the exam. Now, how you're going to do it is how you're going to do it. I have no way of checking, right? That's what I'm asking. All right, what do I get here? 19. See, I goofed something up. Now, what did I goof up? See, this is why. What did I goof up, guys? I typed it in wrong, right? Because most of you would trust the computer, right? This wasn't pre-planned, I promise. I wish it was. I wish I was that intelligent. It wasn't pre-planned. So I put the parenthesis in the wrong spot, correct, guys? Ta-da! Oh, boy. Hey, look, and we get the answer we got. So that's exactly why you check it both by hand and that. That makes sense? All right, guys. It's 11:03. So there we go. So let's do these 2. All right, so back to this in here. All right, so let's get started. So here we're just going to solve this. So the first thing we want to do is simplify as much as possible. So here I'll have 5 plus 4 minus 3. There's nothing to distribute here. So let's just clear our parentheses. All right, so 5 plus 4, this just simplifies to 9. So let's just do that. I'm going to move my x's this way, just because I want to keep my x's positive. No, actually, let me not do that. Let me move x's the way you naturally do it. So here I'm going to add 2x to this side. I'm going to add 2x to this side. I'm going to minus 9 from this side and minus 9 from this side. So I have minus x less than or equal to 3 minus 9 would be minus 6. And then here I'll divide by the negative 1. When I divide by the negative 1, I need to swap my sign. So x is greater than or equal to 6. Yep. Okay, so that's how we do this one. So we're going to swap this. And so we'll go ahead and swap and do this. And then we're going to write this in interval notation. So here I'm going to go ahead and leave the nice bracket for 6, and then x is greater than that. So be minus infinity. And we can just test this real quick. What happens when I plug in 6 here? So I'll get 9 minus, so let's be 9 minus, if I plug in a 6, I'll have minus 6, so that'll give me 18. So this will be minus 9 on this side, and then I'll have 3 minus 6, so I have minus 9 on this side, and so that's when they're equal to each other. And if I plug in 10, this will be 9 minus 30, which is minus 9 minus 30 would be minus 21. And then I'll have, is that less than 3 minus 20, which is negative 17. So yeah, negative 21 is less than that. So yeah, it works out fine. So you can just check in your head. I'll show you how to check in the calculator in a second. All right. So is it a negative infinity? Oh, so here we have x is greater than, and so we're going to start at 6 and then let's go up to positive infinity. So this is a brace. This is a bracket brace, I think. No, the brace is the squiggly one. So this is the bracket. This is the parenthesis. Okay. And it'll go to positive infinity since x is greater than that number. For this one, if you see something awful like this, my suggestion always is to just clear out your fractions. And so in order to do that, I'm going to multiply everywhere by 6. All right, so negative 2 times 6 would be minus 12. A half times 6 would be 3. 2/3 times 6, let's do this one a little bit slower, times 2/3. Well, the 3 cancels here, so I get a 2. So 2 times 2 would be minus 4. Notice this is all still one term, so I don't need to do anything here. And then 3 times 6 is 18. So here I'm just clearing the fractions. What's my least common denominator? 6. So I just multiply it across. Clear out the fractions. Now, I can go ahead and distribute my negative 4. So I'll have 3 minus 4. That'll be minus 4. Minus a minus becomes plus 8x less than 18. Here, this will become minus 12. Go ahead and put these two together. So I get negative 1 plus 8x less than 18. We're going to add 1 to, remember when we have the double, we need to do what we do to 1, we have to do all the sides. So we're going to add 1 everywhere. So I get minus 11x, 8x plus 19. And then we just divide by the 8. And since the 8 is positive, we don't need to worry. So I get minus 11x less than or equal to x less than or equal to 19 over 8. Okay, why is everything multiplied by 6? Oh, I do that. Why I'm multiplying by 6 is I don't want to deal with these fractions. Could you just deal with the fractions the whole time? Yeah, sure, right? But I don't want to. I like nice whole numbers when I work. Okay. And so if I see a bunch of fractions, I'm just going to multiply by a common denominator, and it's just a way to clear out the fractions. Okay. Do you need to do this? No, not by any stretch of the imagination do you need to do that. So, but it's just a nice way. Now, if I want to check this, I can just always type it into Wolfram Alpha. All right. And so here I've already pre-done it for us, right? So here I have -2. The less than or equal sign, we just like type in less than equals a half minus 2/3. I put that in parentheses times 1 minus 2x less than 3. And here I get my answer right here. Now, is this what we want? Not quite. We wanted an interval notation. And so let's just convert this into interval notation. But we get the same answer we got here. So it's just a good way to check. By all means, you only get one submission. So please check it. Okay, I marked my little friend who came late as late. I'm having internet problems too. I wonder if Cox is just having troubles. I'm in the Henderson area, so I don't know if that is the same for some of the other people. All right. What do we got here? So here we have this one, and we just need to put in an interval notation, so it'll be...
Why?
I need to log out.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. We gotta mute some peeps. There we go. So here it's including, so I have the bracket, comma, not including. Oops, this somehow got transformed. Don't do that. That's fine. This should not be, so this should be just strictly less than, sorry. And so that's this, okay? And so that's how you type it in interval notation. All right, so let's go to the next one. Oops, I've already half started this one. That's what the eraser's for. Oh, wait a second. Bam. Ta-da. All right, here we go. All right, so let's do this one. So Kirk can be paid one of two ways for his furniture sales. Either he gets a salary of $950 plus 10% of his sales, or he gets $350 or $1,350 plus 15% of his sales in excess of $9,000. And so here's one of the weird ones. For what amount is the sales plan B better than plan A? So we're just going to say X is my number of sales. Okay, so X is my number of sales. And so we're going to write, we want to know when plan A is less than plan B, right? Because I want to know when is it better for Kurt to sign up for plan B. Well, plan A is the following. It's $950 plus 0.1 times the amount of sales he has here. And plan B is $350 plus 0.15, so 15% of all sales, but those are only after the first 9,000, so I have to minus out that 9,000. Okay. You. Come here. Eat it over here. No, eat it not on the wood floor. Eat it on the pillow. There you go. All right. So here, so in order to solve this, we'll just go ahead and distribute this. So this becomes 950 plus 0.1x less than or equal to 350 times 0.15 x, and then 0.15 of 9,000 is, I don't know. Let's type it in. All right, so let's go ahead and type this in. I get 9,000 times 0.15. That gives me 1350. Makes life easy, right? So this will be minus 1350. So this just cancels with this, and then I minus the 0.15x from both sides, or 0.x, and so I'll get 950. I minus this from both sides, And so I'll get 0.05x divide by 0.05. And I get x is greater than, and then I need to calculate what that number is. Ooh, hold on, where'd it go? Hey, there we go. 950 divided by 0.05, and I get 19,000. Okay, so they need to sell the excess of 19,000 pieces of furniture. Okay. Now, can I just type this in straight away? Yeah, sure. Right. We can also just type it in. Let me just show you how to type that in just straight up. All right. So here we're going to just type this in straight away. So it'll just be 950 plus 0.1x less than 1350 plus 0.15 x minus 9,000, and we should get the same answer. So when you do your exam, make sure to test it twice. Yep, we get the same answer, right? And so we know we did it correctly. All right. All right, so here, we wanted just to make up two functions, and you're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to make up a function here. It's going to be constant right here. It's going to be go here and then go up to infinity, and then we'll just have it swoop down here. And so here I made some function. And then here we'll make up another function. I just say let's have it come straight down to here. Let's have it go across for 2 units. Have it go straight down and then go straight back up. Okay. All right. For the sake of the notes, I'm just going to get rid of. We don't need min and max values, so we don't need to do that. So for the sake of notes, we'll do this just interval where it's decreasing, where it's increasing, where it's constant. Okay. So in this case, it's constant. So this one is constant between here and here. So from -3, so it's constant between the interval of -3 to 2, because this is a straight line if I've drawn it correctly. It's increasing between -infinity to -3. And then your book once it specifically says insert a comma, right? It says specifically insert a comma. So insert the comma. And then from here, it's increasing from 4 to infinity. And then here, where is it decreasing? Well, it's decreasing just between 2 to 4. Okay. Notice here, you always want to type, so a function's never increasing, decreasing, or constant at a point. So we always use the parentheses. Your book wants commas, so type in the commas. Okay, and so let's go ahead and do this one. So where is it constant? Where is it increasing? And where is it decreasing? Okay, so so for your practice exam, just make up 2 of them. Just make up 2 and have it have some sort of constant. Just do that. And that way, when you guys post, you can see what other people did and see different examples. All right, so here it's only constant between 1 and 2, 3, 4. So it's constant between 1 and 4. It's increasing only between 6 to infinity. So 6 to infinity, it's increasing, and then here it's decreasing between -infinity to 1, so -infinity to 1, and then again from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6. So comma 4 to 6. Okay, and that's how your book wants to type that one in. All right. So state whether the functions are either even, odd, or neither. So in this case, why did you eat your little bone? Eat this. So in this case, we're just going to look at these and we're going to type in minus f of x. All right, so remember what it means. So minus, or f of minus x. So if f of minus x equals f of x, we say it was even. If f of minus x equals minus f of x, we said it was odd. And everything else is neither. And so here, if I plug in f of minus x, I get 4 minus x minus 4, which will equal negative 4x minus 4. This is neither the same function or the opposite of the function, since I swap signs here, but I don't swap signs here, so this is neither. Here, if I plug in f of minus x, I'm going to get 6 of minus x cubed minus 3 of minus x to the 5th. Well, minus x cubed will still be negative, so it'll be minus 6x cubed. Minus of negative 5x cubed. Well, negative 5x cubed is negative, the quantity negative x, the quantity negative x to the 5th power is the same thing as negative 5x squared. And so this becomes positive 3x to the 5th. And so seeing how this swaps signs every time, we say this is odd. And then here, if I have f of minus x, well, 3 of negative x to the 6 is just 3x to the 6 plus 4 is still just plus 4. So this ends up being the same, so this is even. But another way of doing this is you can look at powers. Remember here I have x to the first power, x to the 0 power. Here I have, and so this is both an odd power and an even power, so this is neither. Here I have a power of 3 and a power of 5. So these are both odd, so this is odd. And here I have a power of 6, and technically this is a power of 0, as we talked about before. So 6 and a 0, those are both even, so this ends up being even. Okay? So, all right, so let's do, oops, let me get rid of this. Add this in. Hold on. Okay. All right, so once again, please remember that this needs to be over here. And so it should read, so this line should read 7, none of this, minus 2 x, x greater than equal to 6. Okay. And so here we just find the following values. What you do is just, here I'm at 2. So 2 would be in this RAM right here because I'm between negative 2 and 6. So it's just equal to 7. Here at 0, I'm still between negative 2 and 6. So this is just equal to 7. Here at minus 3, I'm less than this. And so I'm going to be using this. So this equals to minus 3 squared because I'm using this part of the formula, which gives me 9. All right. Okay. We're almost there. So do me a favor, guys. Give this one a try real quick. Give this one a try before I give you the answer. So give this a try. Can you go over those again? Can you go back to 12? Sure, we'll go back to 12. Let's do this slowly. So here, let's actually do a couple more. Let's do f of, I don't know, 7 real quick. F of 7. F of 7 is greater than, so basically if x is less than negative 2, I'm using x squared. If x is between negative 2 and 6, I'm going to be using this. And if x is greater than 6, I'm going to be using x minus 2. Okay, so in x is 7, I'm going to be using 7 for my x minus 2, which will give me 5. Okay, when f is 6, here is the equals over here. So this once again will be 7. when f is minus 2. Here, this is where the equal's at, and so we're using negative 2 squared, which is equal to 4. When f is minus 10, it's less than negative 2, so we're using this, so it'll be 10, or negative 10 squared, which is 100. And when x is like positive 10, here it's greater than 6, so we use this. This will be 10 minus 2, which equals to 8. Okay. So here's just a whole huge host of problems to kind of crunch through. Okay, does that make sense how to do 12? Yes, okay. All right, I'll go through this one with you, I guess. So let's do this. So we did a whole bunch of these. And so let's go ahead and do a couple. So let's let f of x be the following. We want to find this mess. And so remember here we type in f of a plus h, and so here I'll have 4a plus h squared plus 3a plus h minus 5 minus 5 minus the quantity of f minus of a, so it'll be 4 of a squared plus 3 of a minus 5. Go ahead and all over h. And so we'll just go ahead and expand that out. Remember, this turns into a squared plus 2ah plus h squared. Remember, if we FOIL that, here we add 3a plus 3h minus 5. Move in the negative, we'll have minus 4a squared minus 3a plus 5. So I'm moving in the negative to each one. Here, let's go ahead and move in the 4. Let me move in the 4 real quick. So it'll be 4a squared plus 8ah plus 4h all over h. Okay, and then we just cancel some things. So we have the negative 4 cancels this positive 4a squared. We have this minus 3a cancels this positive 3a. We have the positive 5 cancels the negative 5. And so what am I left with? I'm left with 8ah plus 4h squared plus 3h all over h. We'll factor out the h, so it'll be 8a plus 4h plus 3 all times h divided by h. Cancel out the h, which leaves us with 8a plus 4h plus 3. Okay. All right, so we did a bunch of these in our practice, and so, and you'll do some more of these. And so here, just plug it in, crunch it through. All right, let's do this last one. And this last one, just to differentiate it from the other one, and just to give you practice, because I should have given you practice. Like I said, I probably was going to forget to do something. I did. But this is easily rectified. This is easily rectified. So I did the multiplication. So I've done all this before, but I did not do any composition. So we're going to switch these all to composition. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to say this is f of g of x and f of g of 3. We're going to get rid of this and get rid of this. We're going to do f of f, and then we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to get rid of this. I'm going to make this g of f of x, and then g of f of y, and then we'll have g of g of x and then g of -1. Okay, that way you have the whole practice. Someone wants me to do, can you show 13 again? I'll do another example of 13. Oh, here, sure, I'll explain it slower. So here we're just going to take this. We're going to plug in a plus h. And so here I'll have 4a plus h squared plus 3a plus h minus 5. And so here I'm just plugging this in. Here I'll have minus f of a. And so here will be a squared plus 3a minus 5. Here, a plus h squared. Remember, a plus h squared. A plus h squared is equal to a squared plus 2ah plus h squared. This should be FOIL it, correct? So here, if you FOIL it, you get this. And so when you plug that in, you'll get 4a squared plus 8ah plus 4h squared. This, if I multiply this, I get 3a plus 3h minus the 5. Here, I pull in the negative, and so instead of 4a, it'll be minus 4a squared. It'll be minus 3a, and then instead of minus 5, it'll be plus 5. And so here we just cancel stuff. The negative 4a cancels the positive 4a squared. The negative 3a cancels the positive 3a. The positive 5 cancels the negative 5. And so I'm left with this plus h squared plus 3h. And then I have 8 plus h plus 4h. So this comes here, this comes here, this comes here. Factor out an h. So I'll pull out an h here, here, and here. So if I pull out an h here, I'll get 8a. If I pull out an h here, I'll get 4h. And if I pull out an h here, I'll just get 3. And we have the h out. And then this h cancels this h. And I'm left with 4a plus 4h plus 3. All right. You'll do more practice on your own. And so let's just finish this last two. So let's do this one. So f of g of x. All right, well, g of x is this, right? So this will be f of x plus 4. Okay, so f of x plus 4. If I plug that in, I'll get f. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put x plus 4. So here I'll have x plus 4 squared. Goes in here. Then I'll have plus an x plus 4. And then here I'll have a minus 7. Okay, so once again, I plugged in g. G is x plus 4. Then I'm going to plug that into f. We get x plus 4 squared plus x plus 4 minus 7. And so once we have all this, we can just simplify. So remember this, x squared. So x plus 4 squared is the same as x plus 4 times x plus 4. So I'll get x squared plus 4x plus 4x. So that'll be plus 8x and then plus 4 times 4. Remember FOIL. So 4 times 4 will give us plus 16. So x plus 4 squared is equal to x squared plus 8x plus 16. Then we're going to add the x plus 4. I'm going to minus the 7, and then we just simplify it. And then if I simplify that, I'll get x squared. No other x squares. Here I'll get a 4. No, I get an 8x plus an x, so that'll be plus 9x. And then I'll have 16 plus 4, which is 20, minus 7, which is minus 13. Okay? So we have x squared plus 9x minus 13. Now, if I want to plug in 3, I can just plug in 3 into this. And I'll get 3 squared, which is 9 plus 9 times 3 would give me 27. So 3 plus 19 gives me, oh, let's see if I can crunch this through in my head. 9 plus, I'm going to just write it all out. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And then minus 13. So this gives me, gee, what does this give me? This isn't minus 13, it's plus 13. Hi, plus 13. Ta-da. So this gives me 49. Hey. Do not eat that thing. Sorry, I got a dog eating something it definitely shouldn't be eating. And so this gives me 49. Another option of doing this would be f of g of 3. Well, g of 3 is 3 plus 4, which is 7. So this would be f of 7. And then here, after we have f of 7, we can put 7 in here. 7 squared is 49. Plus 7 would be 56. Minus 7 is also 49. So either way works. Okay? So do me a favor. Do g of x and g of 1 real quick, and then I'll do this one with you. So just try to put that into chat. All right. Let me zoom out. Some people just didn't need this. There you go. Some people want to look at this for a second. Okay. This f of x will actually become too complicated for now. We'll skip this. So just write skip. Okay. All right. So once we get answers for the g of x and the g of 1, so this will be g of x, and then we'll have g of minus 1, sorry. I'll do this one with you, and we'll call it a day. All right, so here we get x plus, someone got x plus 8, so let's do it. So here we have g of x. Well, g of x is g of x plus 4. And then here, if I plug that in, I'll have x plus 4 gives me x plus 8. And then here, I can just use this. This will be the quickest way. So -1 will give me, if I plug in -1 here, I'm just going to get 7. Okay. All right, let's do this one. Let's do g of f of x. And so g of f of x is equal to, well, g of f of x is, well, f of x is the following. So it'd be g of x squared plus x minus 7. So that's what f of x is. Everywhere I see an x, now I'm going to plug it into g. So I'll have x squared plus x minus 7 plus 4. Okay, and then I can just simplify that to be x squared plus x minus 3. And then here, if I want to find f of g of f of 5, I can either just plug in 5 in here, which will give me 20. This will give me 25 plus 5 minus 7, which will give me, so this is 25 plus 5 is 30, minus 3 is 27. Or I can plug in f of 5. F of 5 is going to give me 25 plus 5 minus 7, which gives me 23. And g of 23 is 27. Okay? So that's the answers of this. All right. All right, class. It is 10.